what we find here is that Isaiah, or Deutero-Isaiah, the Isaiah prophesying in the time of the Persian ascendancy, Isaiah is aware of this theological tendency in Persia, that there's this dualism. And Isaiah is saying that does not work for Judaism. So God is the creator of peace, and God is the creator of evil in the world, of discord, of anything. God is both good, and God is the source of evil. So that is a direct strike against the Persian dualism. God is the source of all. The rabbis, when constructing the liturgy, were very much influenced by that notion in the latter part of Isaiah, but they soften the blow a bit. They don't want us to wake up every day and us to say, God, thank you for creating the bad along with the good. So they put a nuance on this, and they say, Oseh shalom uvarei takol. God creates peace and creates everything. And in that, we understand all of the bad stuff too.
Rabbi, was this the first reference in this part of the Siddur through Isaiah of the concept of good and evil as it progresses throughout time, going from good and evil, heaven and hell, God and Satan, and so forth?
I'm not sure if it's the first reference of a...
So it's a development?
I believe so. I mean, I'd have to look back into the scripture to see that sort of development. But scholars have definitely pointed to this and said that this passage is a direct polemic against the Persians. The Persians have these dual divinities, a good God and a bad God, and we're saying that the God of Israel is the God of all, the one God. There should not be dualism in our faith. This, of course, presents a theological challenge for us in accounting for evil in the world, and that may be my next course. But so to our YouTube viewers, watch for that. A course in theodicy, or the problem of evil. But we begin our morning blessings acknowledging that God is the source of all.
But I don't get the concept that God created the evil. So the people that are the evil, and, well, I mean, this is my own philosophy, I think, but the people, I think that it's giving people the test, well, you better be on the straight and narrow. I think it's that concept. I mean, I don't know that God, I mean, or maybe that's why they say that. But that would be a very fascinating course that I would like to delve into, because, I mean, I think the whole thing of being religious, and not only being Jewish, but any religion, is to keep people from doing evil things. So, I mean, some people seem to have a bad heart and want to do bad things. And so that would then be a protector or protection, if you will. I mean, that's only my own.
Okay, so noted. I think this comment, it kind of triggered in my mind what I wanted to get to from the outset, which is, if we look at this blessing, this opening blessing, how would you categorize it using this structure? Is this a gimme prayer, thanks, oops, or wow?
A wow. A wow. Wow.
The morning blessings, the Shema Birchoteha, is very much centered on the wow. Okay, this is our wonderment, an expression of our wonderment at creation. Now the wow has a tinge of thanksgiving too, but it's a bit more than thanksgiving. It's expressing a true wonder at God's creation, the fact that we are a part of this ongoing cycle of life. So that's how we begin. Now on Shabbat and holidays, or on Shabbat, there's a special piyut, or a special passage, a liturgical insertion that follows. On weekdays, we would continue on page 109. If you can just skip there and read in the middle of the page, it says on weekdays. So if someone could just read those two paragraphs out loud in the English. Take it ahead, Joe.
You illumine the world and its creatures with mercy. In your goodness, day after day, you renew creation. How manifold your works, Adonai. With wisdom you fashioned them all. The earth abounds with your creations. Uniquely exalted since earliest time, enthroned amidst praise and prominence since the world began. Eternal God, with your manifold mercies, continue to love us. Our pillar of strength, protecting rock, sheltering shield, sustaining stronghold. Our praiseworthy God, with vast understanding, fashioned the rays of the sun. The good light God created reflects his splendor. Radiant lights surround God's throne. God's heavenly servants in holiness exalt the Almighty, constantly recounting God's sacred glory. Praise shall be yours, Adonai our God, for your wondrous works, for the lights you have fashioned, the sun and the moon, which reflect your glory.
Right, so this is a piece of liturgy that elaborates upon the opening blessing that we have. We're continuing this theme of creation, expressing wonderment at creation. And the opening phrase, which is highlighted here in this edition, HaMeir La'aretz, God illumines the earth. And we see much reference to the sun and the moon and the force of light in our lives. So that continues the opening blessing, and it actually continues through page 110. What I'd like to do is read the last paragraph of this section. If I could have another reader for that last paragraph to say, "To praiseworthy God they sweetly sing." Joe, can you take this one?
Sorry.
To praiseworthy God they sweetly sing. In song they celebrate the living, enduring God. For God is unique, doing mighty deeds, creating new life, championing justice, sowing righteousness, reaping victory, bringing healing. Awesome in praise, sovereign of wonders. God, in his goodness, renew creation day after day. So sang the psalmist, praise the creator of great lights, for God's love endures forever. Cause a new light to illumine Zion. May we all soon share a portion of its radiance. Praised are you, Adonai, creator of lights.
Right. So we have here what you might call the signature blessing of the closing of this section. Baruch atah Adonai Yotzer HaMeorot. Praised are you, Adonai, the creator of the lights. And this closes the section. We have a blessing at the beginning that we read together that said Yotzer, or acknowledge God as the creator of light. And this section finishes with a closing blessing acknowledging God as the creator of light. So this is one unit. And it refers to the creation. It's all about the creation, expressing wonderment at God's creation. We move on to another section, and that is on page 111. This is the second major section of the Shema Birchotah, the Shema and its blessings. This is what put on the board, the section of Revelation. It would be very hard to say the Shema without acknowledging in the morning the miracle of revelation, or the theological notion that God's teachings became known to us in the event of Sinai.